We like to think that we live in a nice, safe neighborhood. The truth is that a burglary occurs every 13 seconds, and homes without a security system have a 300% greater chance of getting broken into. How many homes in your neighborhood were robbed yesterday? You need to start protecting your home and family today. Call now to get state-of-the-art protection. To keep your family and property safe, call the number on your screen now. Representatives are standing by to assist you.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casinos now, your favorite sports book available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E, and you get a risk-free bet up to $300 and 20 bonus dollars at BorgataCasino.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, welcome to another edition of the Turnpike Sports Book Report. We've got a bunch of stories to talk about. We've got our usual suspects of sports betting revenue and handle numbers to report. We've got a mobile milestone to talk about for one of the states.
A mobile milestone.
We have a bunch of launches and deals to discuss. We even have an update on the Tennessee Action 24/7 saga going on in the court system,
which, by the way,
of Tennessee
is changing daily. So
again, this may be old by the time this
news
airs.
is coming out daily on this situation. So
and it's kind of an interesting thing to watch, especially for the industry as a whole, because we're starting to see exactly how independent sports books can operate, maybe compete, in the industry against the biggies, and it's kind of setting new ground as it goes along each and every day.
Sure.
Let's start with some sports betting numbers. We have Nevada reporting their February numbers. They had a handle of $553.8 million, which is 14% down from January, and it's the lowest since the full sports schedule returned following COVID.
Well, there are less things to bet on. There's no more football. Yeah, so that kind of hurts.
I think the Super Bowl hurt it a lot too. A lot of states were hurt by the Super Bowl. I think a lot of people went with the Brady thing.
Yeah, well, especially New England, the New England sports books.
And we'll talk about New Hampshire in a little bit.
I don't want to.
No, it's okay.
Screw up the flow here, but But look, the Super Bowl was February 3rd, February 2nd, February 3rd,
and everybody put their bets in January.
And after that, certainly you have NBA, you have NHL, and certainly people bet on those and people make money on those. But it's not like football. Football is like the king when it comes to betting.
Well, if you think about the Super Bowl is a very unique event, especially in terms of betting, because a lot of the betting occurs the month before.
Yeah.
Because of all the prop bets, of a lot of other things.
Look, the numbers aren't out, but everyone's going to bounce back in March because of March Madness. So
you would hope. You would hope.
I would think. I would certainly, from all accounts and all news stories I'm seeing, that there should be a bump from the March Madness.
March Madness should have almost the same effect, if not a greater effect, than the Super Bowl did. Sure. But the Super Bowl is unique in that the effects of that game is not going to be felt in the same month the betting is done. If you think about it, most of the betting is done in January. The results happen and are reported for the February numbers, not the January numbers.
You have that 2 week before the Super Bowl that everyone throws their bets down on.
Yeah,
and that usually happens in January.
Exactly. And again, it affects every state's numbers in terms of revenue more so than handle. If it's like I said, it's a weird situation with that one sporting event. Mobile handle in Nevada for February was $316.3 million. That was about 57% of the overall amount, which I still find interesting that Nevada still does not have a dominant mobile industry for sports
I know.
betting.
In New Jersey, it's 90% and over.
It's always 90%
It's always
over.
90%
Same thing with
over.
Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's getting up there. Tennessee's 100% mobile.
Well, look, New Jersey's an interesting state because we have our sports books in two extreme areas of the state. We have in the north, we have Monmouth, and we have Meadowlands, and then way down in the south, we have Atlantic City, and a lot of people are in the middle. So I'm right in the middle, and I have an hour drive to Atlantic City or an hour drive to Meadowlands. So,
and I have to admit, for the people in Central Jersey, it's so much easier to use your phone than go over the Delaware to one of the Philadelphia casinos.
I'm closest to Parks. We got Live. We're very close to Philadelphia.
But
we live in New Jersey.
A lot of people don't want to get off their couches either.
No. And like I said, even when I'm at a sports book, I still bet on my phone.
Yeah.
Why get up off your chair and go stand in line?
Or at a kiosk.
Yeah.
And actually, I've seen lines at kiosks now, too.
Sure.
So, but again, it's a matter of convenience for the mobile stuff. And again, I don't know why. I guess maybe the population centers are where the casinos are anyway, so they go out and do it.
Yeah.
Especially in the wintertime, they're not affected by the cold and the snow and the sleet like the eastern states are. But again, mobile handle was 57% of the overall handle, and that's where the milestone comes in. According to Chris Altruda, which we have on the show this week, the state has cleared the $3 billion mark for mobile handle since the Gaming Control Board in Nevada has begun reporting that number, which has been January 2020. So from January of 2020 to the current month, they've cleared the $3 billion mark in mobile handle.
Wow, okay.
February taxes to the state was $2.15 million. Now, you hinted at it before, New Hampshire. They were affected big time by the Super Bowl.
Everyone bet on Brady in New England.
Yep.
So
they had an increase of Super Bowl betting by $5 million year over year between last year's and this year's. Lottery paid out $8.8 million on the Super Bowl for a net loss of $1.7 million for the state. Mm-hmm. The handle overall reported a just under $51 million total handle. Just under $43 million of that was from mobile. The revenue, they had a revenue of $1.79 million. Most of that came from mobile as well. $1.72 million was revenue from mobile sports betting. Taxes came in at $769,000. That's a 59% drop from January. So that is they had a record month last month anyway. Regarding the in January, I should say, not February, but January they had a record month because of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely.
Super Bowl gave, Super Bowl took.
Up in New England, they're still talking about Tom Brady. So he's in the news. He's on everyone's mind. And if you get a chance to bet on him in New England, I guess they're going to bet on him.
And it was interesting to see Tampa Bay re-sign the entire team.
Yeah, pretty much it.
The entire team is back together.
Pretty much it.
But I haven't seen the latest numbers, but I don't believe Tampa Bay is the favorite to win.
I don't know. I would think the Chiefs are Kansas City.
They still are, yeah.
I think probably still are. And I don't think that's going to change anymore.
No, especially if Mahomes gets to the Super Bowl healthy again. He had that foot problem, which kind of really hampered him. But again, it was a good game if you're a Brady fan. West Virginia reported their numbers, $38 million in total handle. That was a decrease of more than $12 million compared to January. Again, West Virginia reports their numbers differently than everybody else. They do it weekly instead of monthly, so you just got to pick and choose and take into effect what they have reported here. West Virginia sportsbooks earned just $1.3 million in revenue compared to $4 million the previous 4 weeks, I should say. Greenbrier was first in revenue with $1.2 million for the month. Hollywood came in second with $400,000 in revenue. DraftKings came in with $65,000 of Hollywood's $400,000 in revenue, which was kind of weird. That was only $65,000 in revenue. And Mountaineer had an interesting report. They brought in through $230,000 retail revenue and only a few thousand in online revenue. William Hill, their partner for the mobile, reported a negative $237,000 in revenue.
Wow. Okay.
So kind of an interesting month for William Hill down in West Virginia. let's talk about a couple launches that happened around the country before we start talking about the Tennessee action stuff. New Jersey, Golden Nugget Online Gaming has basically relaunched their sports betting platform. They have a deal with Scientific Games. They are now the platform operator of choice with Golden Nugget, and they're going to be starting to do that around the country as well. They're Golden Nuggets in Michigan with Scientific Games. Most of the time you're going to see Golden Nugget paired with Scientific Games. They had a different partner before this, but they've relaunched everything. It's shared wallet, that sort of stuff. Indiana, Penn National received their sports betting license on March 3rd. That means Barstool Sports is going to launch pretty soon there as well. WynnBET received its go live notice on the same day, March 23rd. I found this kind of interesting in the reports. Bally's, the license acquisition of Fantasy Draft in that state was approved. And we're going to see Bally's operating a fantasy sports site.
That should be interesting.
In Indiana.
Yeah.
So
Bally's is buying everything. They're acquiring everything.
They're on a shopping spree.
Yeah, I guess so.
Interesting things in Indiana. We have a new local betting show launching in Indiana.
Great.
All Indiana Bets is going to be airing on WISH TV beginning in August. It's basically a betting show that they're going to talk about the Indiana teams only.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's not across the board.
It's not a national show. It's going to be Indiana focus. They're going to have live broadcasts. They're going to have online broadcasts, and they're going to do it as a podcast as well. So it's going to be multi-tier. VirginiaGambling.com group got its sports betting affiliate license for Virginia's Betters. Virginia is for betters. That old. What was their old slogan? Virginia is
for lovers. Yeah.
So they do Virginia is for betters. Internationally, we had BetConstruct. I'm saying this wrong. BetConstruct launched a virtual in-play tennis suite of games for
tennis. Huh?
Yeah, for their overseas bettors. They don't have it in the United States yet, but it's a whole in-play tennis suite of games where you're going to be able to use data from tennis matches going on to create virtual sports. And people can bet on that as it goes along. Let's go over into the deals section. Oh, by the way, for those of you wondering, Connecticut is inching closer and closer to sports betting. They got both tribes on board.
Both Native American.
Yes.
For Connecticut, there's only Native American casinos,
right?
So there's no state-run casinos. So there's different legislative things you have to do in Connecticut.
Well, they have to get the compacts all straightened out between the Native American tribes and the state. Then the state has to go forward with the enabling legislation and the structure on how to do it. So we'll see where that goes to. One interesting little note I saw in terms of legislation. Here, the U.S. Congress recently had their annual Members' Day hearing, and that's held each year for House members to just air whatever topics they want to do for their constituency base. Mm-hmm. And one of the topics brought out by the one of the Nevada House members. Let me get this right here. Representative Dina Titus, Democrat from Nevada, made a presentation to eliminate the 0.25% tax on sports betting handle in the United States. This has been part of the Revenue Act of 1951. And basically, the federal government gets 0.25% of the state's sports betting handle every tax year. Just to give you an example of what is going on here, 3 states, New Jersey, Nevada, and Pennsylvania, owe the IRS a combined $34.6 million from this tax.
Okay. Wow, I didn't know that.
So she has been, every time this Members' Day happens, that's one of her presentations, to get rid of this excise tax from the federal law there.
Let's see what happens.
Going over onto the deal side of things, we have PointsBet and Penn National doing an agreement for 20-year market access for Mississippi and Pennsylvania. And now this is for sports betting and iGaming. So we may see a PointsBet casino coming soon.
Interesting. Good.
So
I like PointsBet.
No, PointsBet's fun. It's also laid out well. I think I said this in the last episode. The color scheme is easy on my eyes anyway.
Well, just their layout and the number, you can follow the numbers easy for me.
Well, this deal would give PointsBet access to 14 states in the United States of America. Moving over to BetMGM, they have been granted access to IMG Arena's Golf Event Center, which will increase the I don't want to say the applicability, but the offerings that BetMGM can do for their golf products in terms of sports betting. You're going to be able to stream action from 2 different par 3 holes each tournament via the BetMGM app, too.
Great.
Moving over to Sport Radar, they have done a couple deals. They did a data and video analytics deal with Synergy Sports, which will increase their video and OTT offerings that sportsbooks can use through their apps as well. And they did a deal with the Chinese Basketball Association, where they are going to be able to distribute regular season, postseason games, and all-star games to broadcasters, streamers, OTT broadcasters, and sportsbooks for the Chinese Basketball Association League.
Great.
Now let's do our little quick update on the Tennessee Action situation down in Tennessee. And I am sure by the time this airs, this will be stale information. Something else will happen.
Yeah.
Because it's a fluid situation.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
Just to refresh everyone's memory, I'm pretty sure everyone has been following this. Tennessee Action 24/7's license was suspended by the Tennessee Education Lottery because of alleged credit card fraud, money laundering, data breaches, illegal proxy betting, all allegations. And the Tennessee Action 24/7 Sportsbook had its license suspended. The site was shut down, especially at March Madness, which was a horrible time for that to happen.
Yep.
They lost out on a chunk of change there. We'll see what happens, though. Tennessee Action 24/7 sued in court to get a temporary injunction to reinstate their license while the Tennessee Education Lottery investigates these claims of money laundering, fraud, proxy betting, that sort of stuff. The court sided with Tennessee Action 24/7 for the temporary injunction. The license is no longer suspended. They're actively taking bets. But the investigation by the lottery is still going on into these the allegations of fraud and credit card fraud, ID theft. And we'll see exactly where the investigation goes. There's still a chance they get suspended, but right now, for now, the Tennessee Action 24/7 guys are back in business.
All right, good news for Tennessee Action 24/7. And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.